Looking at her, I can't believe she's about to receive bad news, but you never know. So is Jane's lifestyle one that adds years to her age, or is she growing younger by the minute? Let's take a look.
When I come to England, I don't really go to the gym. I avail myself of the countryside, so I'll take long walks, go up and down the hills. I really believe in eating my vitamins in my food, in fresh food. We grow organic food at home. I lost 2 pregnancies whilst doing IVF, so it was not my first pregnancy that worked. I went through a lot of trauma trying to get pregnant. But ultimately, I think I was in good shape. I ate properly. I really took care of myself physically. And when I had the emergency C-section, my gynecologist said to me that my tissues were the tissues of a much younger woman, of a woman 20 years younger than me. So I was healthy enough to withstand this. However, I did have health problems since. I did get high blood pressure after the preeclampsia, which I have had to deal with ever since. I probably went through one of the biggest crises in my life when I turned 40. Not because I turned 40, but because my father died of cancer. My husband was very unfaithful to me. I was very depressed, but I had 2 children to look after, and I discovered painting. I started painting, and instead of going into a deep, dark depression, instead of taking any kind of drugs or Valium or anything, instead of drinking too much or eating too much or becoming depressed, basically, I put all my feelings into painting.
Mrs. Cleary, this is pretty sudden.
You've been playing cat and mouse with me ever since you came here.
Mrs. Cleary, I don't...
Call me Cat.
Okay, Cat.
Call me Kitty Cat.
When I went to America, I realized that the competition was huge compared to here in Britain. And I realized that these women were really taking care of their weight and of their bodies. And so I got involved in Pilates. And I remember doing it alongside the Charlie's Angels and Joan Collins. There was an illustrator. Oh, and Natalie Wood. That was the crowd that was doing it. But that was long before anyone ever heard of Pilates. And I think it's wonderful now. They've just discovered it 30 years later.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jane Seymour, here she is.
I
lovely to see you.
Hi,
You're looking wonderful.
Thank you.
You're looking wonderful. Well, did you find it sort of fairly stressful doing the test at all?
Yeah, because, I did it honestly. I just, I wanted to make sure that I could learn something from it.
Yes.
And, I want to be healthy.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you've had a bit of stress in your life by the sound of things.
Oh, I've had a lot of stress in my life. I mean, I think, I run on more cylinders than most people. I mean, I'm really on the go all the time. I do way more than I'm supposed to. People always say, why don't you take a rest? Why don't you relax? But that just doesn't seem to happen.
And diet fine, food and everything, you look after that aspect of things?
Yes, I happen to like really good food, and I tend to not eat red meat. We have organic gardens in Malibu, so if I can, we eat from the garden. And I don't eat much I don't eat bread or white rice particularly. And I don't drink too much. I don't smoke, and I...
Sounds good to me. Now, in your latest film, and that wonderful film that we've seen a clip of, you've revealed yourself entirely, I believe.
Well, mainly to Owen Wilson, who had to touch me.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I know, it's pretty wild to... Well, I just thought anyone that's crazy enough to ask a 54-year-old woman deserved to get it.
Absolutely. So, audience, you've had time to mull it over. What do you reckon? Will the test reveal Jane to be older or younger than chronology would have us believe, which is 54? Please, can you vote now?
Be nice.
They have been pretty nice, actually.
They have. They've been very nice. Everyone's so young.
Yes.
Someone's got to be old, so it must be me.
You'd think so. I don't think it's going to be you, though. Look at that.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
So, Jane, the audience think that you'll be younger than 54. Let's see if they're on the ball or way off the mark. It's time to reveal your actual result right now.
Okay.
Born on the 15th of February 1951, when a loaf of bread cost 5 old pennies and colour television was launched in America, you are 54 years old. According to the test, you're 4 3/4 years younger.
Oh. Wow.
Well, I mean, that...